Hey there everybody, welcome back to the channel. My name is Chris. Here we are once again at Hilltop Park, home of our Triple Crown winning Plateau Brex, following in the footstep of her brother and stablemate for a short time, Krabby's Down. And yeah, very intrigued to see kind of how things are panning out. Um, Moving towards the mid to end of the season now, we're going to try and get Plateau some wins and really kind of inflate that record. We probably wisely decided not to go for the King George VI and Queen Elizabeth II um, over a mile 4. Trip to Britain up to a mile 4. Didn't really feel good, but I was concerned that there's just too many races to spread a 1 mile 2 furlong. So you might see that we've got a much shorter list of horses, and not to worry. Like Journeyman, Blackstone, Parsons, Verse, they're all just chilling right now in the field. Don't really think there's any real reason to run on Verse. Runs good. I just, yeah, I just don't think he's going to win a 5 or 6 furlongs grade 1 comfortably, like multiple grade 1s. We're basically going to be fighting the booking and trying to get him going and spending time concentrating on something that's maybe going to happen if we run against an okay field. But if it's a good horse, we're just going to get beaten. And even if he runs really well, if we're abroad, we're not going to win that one. So just kind of put him in the field. Exactly the same kind of thinking here that led me to pull out to the King George and QE. I just felt it just doesn't feel right. It just doesn't make sense to me. So yeah, people would run it. I understand that. I decided to pull out Parsons as well. We're struggling here to win a grade 3 at 7 furlongs and a mile. It just doesn't feel like it's gonna go, and like that's a grade 3. If we're struggling for a grade 3, grade 2, even on a very good day, we're gonna have to be lucky to win. And then by the time we step up to grade 1, it just doesn't feel like it's gonna work out for us. And they're not bad horses, they're just not great horses. And same with Journeyman. I think Journeyman's come so close, looks so good, but probably had the race of his life at the Haskell. This is probably the absolute peak of Journeyman. I've come to that realization that I did think this was a great horse. And if we didn't run in snatches, we might have won that. But it's, not really gonna be enough. We can snatch maybe one grade 1 before the end of the season on Journeyman. We'll probably be lucky to do that. And yeah, I just don't want to fight the booking. And Blackstone Founder's has been up and down. We won the Belmont Invitational. Again, that's just one I think is kind of run out. And I'd rather give those races to Plateau Brex. I think Brex is just a better horse. And yeah, the more grade 1s I can stack on her, the better I'll feel about myself. Rather than both having 3 grade 1 wins, I'd rather, you know, Brex have 6 more this season and just not run Journeyman, Blackstone at all. With the 2-year-olds, slightly different. I think all my 2-year-olds have now jumped up to 7 furlong mile range, which is promising for their 3-year-old season, being able to get up to that mile 2 for the Triple Crown. Maybe even a mile 4 thrown in there. Don't really know, but it would be nice, taking us back a little bit to Brisingham and Hague. Yeah, Eve Secret looks really good, really solid, 106 rating, got a grade 2 and a grade 3. There are grade 1s, but I don't feel the need to push. This one is it's already maxed out. We can run, but I don't see too much of the point. I think we've seen everything we need to see as a 2-year-old, and we'll pull them back out of the field as a 3-year-old. And the same with Evewater, exactly the same. Pretty much, very good bars. Again, got that distance. Probably going to be a 7 furlong. If it does gain distance, maybe a mile 1 rather than a mile 2. But we've seen everything here. We had a maiden, we had an allowance race, and then we hit our grade 2 in Ascot. And again, there's no development. We're kind of done. Following up on that, Modern Eve, pretty good bars, a little bit less acceleration than her brothers, but again, the same kind of stamina, breeding indicator, everything going well. Had to get that second maiden because we got the distance wrong in the first, and then wins the Queen Mary at Ascot. There's room to grow, but I don't think there's races for her to grow. And I just don't think she's got a ton of very exciting matches. Very bare bones minimum. I don't think that potential's really going to move, and I think we can fill that as a 3-year-old just as easily as if she got another couple of percentage points for a good run. I don't have full confidence in her jumping up. I could test the distances on these horses, but I don't really need to. I can do that at the start of a 3-year-old season. And since everybody's running there, I can free up those races for the other the other 2-year-olds. Test them now, and then test this bunch at the start of next season, and kind of spread it out rather than clump everyone together. That's kind of my thinking there. And the same with Seeker. I could run, but we've proven everything we need to know. We've got 2 grade 2s, close to another 2. We've got our 2 grade 1s. We've won abroad over a mile. She seems to be really good. She's got great potential and high extra speed. I really just wanted to make sure that we breed her with Brisingamen Hague right now and try and get some of that distancing. So if I can get extra distance with Violetta with these bars, I think that just makes more sense to me. We'll have the Ingleby Star bloodline. We'll have Brisingamen Hague bloodline. And then the fall from that, we could breed with one of the Eves and get the Eve's era bloodline that gave us Krabbies and Brex and all these. So I think just not running these horses that we don't really need to, unless Modern Eve surprises the hell out of me, I don't really think she runs a Triple Crown as a 3-year-old. I feel unless nobody else gets distance, we have better options, by far better options. So that's why we've sort of culled the herd down quite a lot. And that gives us 2. Because Storming Wanted is going to be running at a mile 1. A little over a mile 1, but a mile 1. We like this horse. It just... We're over racing it, we are. We've pushed it. It was close to overrating before Santa Anita, but we ran that anyway. And then, we've given it a couple of months and then ran the Woodbine, Queen's Plate. Still, got the job done. Pretty solid in those big races. We've got a couple of grade 1s. We look pretty good. The stats here still aren't amazing. They still aren't amazing. I was thinking of breeding from it, but I don't know if it really improves the bloodlines that much. Comments, on that. Kind of what would you do with a horse like this that maybe is worth breeding from, maybe not. It's very difficult for me to tell. But I figure we give it another run, see if we can get that 3rd grade 1 win. And I've pinpointed the Saratoga Derby for that, which is probably pretty good. Again, we've got some names that we do know. We've raced against a bunch of these before. It'd be a nice test, I think. It'd be a nice test for it. And it likes a mile 1, mile 2, so maybe we'll use a bit of jockey orders there to kind of, you know, help it along. Um, don't know, but it should be good. We'll ignore Brex for now because we're going to come back to Brex because the end of the season's all about these 3 2-year-olds for now, and then Brex. And if these races go the way I think they can, then realistically we might even pull these two out and try and find something at the end of the season. Because we're getting to that stage of the season, and the distances now with these 2-year-olds, we can do something. So Eve has the hopeful. My issue is I'm not that hopeful. I kind of think I want to run this, but I also kind of think I don't. And it's so difficult. I like this horse. I just don't know what she's gonna do. Again, couldn't get the Bashford. Looks okay. Moving up in distance. We could run this. There is another one. I think it start the next month sometime. I think there's a grade 2. I can't remember which one it is. Yeah, there is a juvenile. The KPMG juvenile. Over a mile. So, breeding indicator says 7, but lower acceleration. That sometimes points to a little bit more distance because we're not quite quick out the gate. I don't know. I kind of feel that that might be a better option. Get a grade 2 on these. Let's not be greedy and try and get the 1. Because if Candy Star can get the futurity, which I'm looking at, and I really think they're well rounded, apart from the fact they don't have the extra speed that I usually look for. But if we can get a grade 1 there, we can get a grade 2 on Eves, and then Stardrom is also running in Ireland. They're going to Curra the next day, basically, for the Goss Vincent O'Brien National. I think if we can get a grade 1 there, because we've already won a grade 2, so yeah, Candy Star's just that throw in the dark, but I really do think this horse has something about it. Singleby Stars, Candania Terry, love both those horses. We got a little bit more distance than Terry ever got, but boy was she a machine and was winning at 7 towards the end. So I don't know. I feel kind of comfortable. I don't feel as comfortable putting Eves in the hopeful. So I think maybe a mile. Bump the grade 2 to a grade 3. And if we can get grade 1s here, they might all be done at that point. Because, like, they're done. They probably won't jump much. And, like, a win in this grade 1 is going to be the only thing that will jump them if they can. And the same with Candy Star. They got room to grow, but will they actually jump? I don't know. But I'm thinking those are good. And if we do hit those, like I say, we can then think about probably not secret or water because they're filled. That's the thing. There's no reason to bring them out. If there are other 7 furlong mile grade 1s we want to run at the end of the year for 2-year-olds, maybe we pull them out. But to be honest with you, maybe then we just put these all in the field and just probably put Storm in after this run in the field, and we just run Brex till the end of the season and just pick out a bunch of races and just run Brex. And I'm definitely not against that. I'm definitely not against that. Now Brex is going to be an interesting one because I want to start with the Arlington Million. It's a race I like. It's a race I do like, and coming off a Triple Crown with a true mile 2 furlong horse, I do like to run it. So, um, it's not a bad field. I don't think it's a scary looking field. We should be the best horse. We're just risking our unbeaten nature. That's it. Um, and then quite close after we moved to Saratoga. And to be honest with you, apart from the Triple Crown races, domestically, one of my favorite Mile 2 races to target with a Triple Crown horse is always going to be the Travers. I don't know why, but I think, it's the Derby, it's the Belmont Invitational, it's the Travers, it's the Arlington Million, and then like domestically, I think then you've got to go to the Breeders' Cup. Now, foreign races, there are other things that do excite me, and there is another one I think is always fun to run if we can, and the schedule's kind of helped us do that. I mean, there's stuff like the tennis show and etc., but if we go to Leopardstown and we take the Irish champion with Brex, I think this is our statement piece. And this, to me, is a more comfortable race, but a very similar level of prestige and quality and everything else that the King George and Queen Elizabeth was all about. So instead of going to England for a mile 4, we go to Ireland for a mile 2 and maybe take the champion. And we'll go in there anyway for Eves Morton. We stay overnight and we go to Curra and we just watch Stardrum go. So I think that makes a little bit of sense. That's always kind of a fun one if I can kind of do that. So yeah, I feel comfortable with a lot of these races now. Like I say, Eves and the hopeful, not really, not really feeling that. Going to Ireland, big challenge. Every single Irish horse, unraced 2-year-old. You don't know what you're getting. You don't know how she'll take the trip. You don't know anything. But at least it's a grade 2. And the mile makes sense because of where Eve's era was running and where Morton was really effective was a mile 2. 7 furlong mile 2. Sorry, a mile 1. I mean, we got up to a mile 2 and it did not suit. So I kind of feel like both of these horses really ran well at a mile. And Eve's era is sort of a mile to a mile 1, whereas Zainab Morton probably more 7 furlongs to a mile. So yeah, it feels that feels right to me over the hopeful. Stardrum, again, small drum we liked and was starting to run at 7 furlongs. Ingleby Star liked more, but again, like just went big. All three of its grade ones are actually 7 furlongs for small drum. Ingleby Star went big. We might be under distance, but I think we're getting small drum's stamina now, and Ingleby's will kick in as a 3-year-old. I'm less confident there. I've got to say I'm less confident here. Terry just, yeah, she started to kill it at 7. So the futurity, yeah, yeah. I'm starting to talk myself out of these. But I think putting the people in the field I did made sense. I'm fairly happy with that. Putting the people in the barn, Both might have been a little early. We could have got extra races, but I don't really regret either of them. Um, yeah, Storming one last race. I mean, that's what we said the last two times, but yeah, and I kind of just enjoy letting that one run. He's unbeaten this year, which kind of again makes me want to run. Um, Even though I'm risking that. So let's see kind of what happens there, and then Brex we just test everything at a mile two that we feel comfortable with. As long as we got enough rest, we're ready to go. We're not over racing, and and the trips kind of make sense. I think everything at a mile two is on the plate of Plateau Brex. So yeah, that's a long-winded explanation of everything. And now watch us go into these first two races. Stormin gets obliterated. Brex gets disqualified. And we'll have 40 minutes of me just sobbing uncontrollably in the background. How about that? That's sound like fun to anyone else? Oh boy. Yeah. I don't want to run these races now. I don't want to run these races. I'm gonna run these races. I'm gonna go to Saratoga. The Saratoga Derby, 1 mile 110 yards for Storming Wanted. And I think I am gonna use jockey instructions. And I think we've pushed this horse to its limit on over racing. So I'm gonna stick with it no matter what happens here. I feel I've kind of I've got to make this last race. It's going out into the field after this, no matter what. Um, and then as a 4-year-old, because Brisingham and Higgs will have already bred with everyone. I don't need to breed from them again, which means unless it's a game bred that really looks good, maybe we go to Storming next season. So don't trail. Challenge earlier. I think he's right in the middle of his distance. I think he'd be okay. I'm a little worried. I'm a little worried, but this isn't Brex, so I shouldn't be worried. It's an unbeaten season, not an unbeaten horse, and it's one who I've always really liked, but just was over raced before we did a prep race for the Kentucky Derby, and that's slightly annoying. It's another kind of what could have been. A little bit of a tardy start there out of the gates. We will move up to the front. Chocolat Waters on the outside with Dalakani picked up. Fresher Printer now moving out with Piccolo Media back in front of us and Henry Boucher to the side. Trouville Moore, Shabiba Vaughn. Al Mushtarak Book is back in this with Dana Panzer and Desert Moore Banker. I can't help myself. I can't. Just like saying, instead of actually saying Boucher Henri, I say Henry Boucher. And the Panzer. So, final furlong, we are in the lead. The field is right there. Anyone wants to kick on can take this. Dalakani has run well. Chocolat, Shibabab. Al Mushtarak is just well at the back. Did it seem like nobody else had a finish? Nobody made a move. And nobody really had a finish. Nobody sprinted for the line. It just kind of felt like everybody was just running an even pace with like no battling qualities, no cruising burst, no finish application, no closers. Just like everybody was run completely the same from like the first half a mile or so onwards. They got into their position and then there was no movement in that field that I saw. It didn't feel like it was changing much. Like we moved up a little bit. You can see 5 furlongs out. We kicked on, but like yeah, we missed the break. We did okay. We got the win. But apart from that, then like there's a little movement here. So these two changed places near the beginning, but it got worse before it kind of got better. So they changed 5 furlongs in. So halfway through the race, sure. Little movement here. Fresher Printer basically went up and like died at the end. But like, where are the horses that moved up towards the end? Like everybody just from halfway on was just there, and Pressure Printer died. Like it's such a weird race. I don't know. And Jockey Club Derby. I mean, I think I'm gonna stand on business and kind of stick by my word, and that's Storming once they're done. But yeah, we like the Gold Cup and the Prix de l'Opera, they're available. The Tennis Show at a mile 2 is available. Breeders' Cup Classic is probably not going to be storming. The Hong Kong Cup, but then you could run the Memorial and let Brex take the Oaks. You know, it's really tempting. The Woodward, I like the Woodward. Pennsylvania Derby, the Spinster, the QE2 Challenge Cup. Oh, I really want to run that one. That could be a storm in the distaff. I mean, that's not really going to be available. The Hollywood Derby, the Champions Cup in Chukio. It's so tempting. It really, 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 really is tempting. If we'd have got the distance right on the maiden and got the going right, then Stormin would probably be unbeaten, right? Because ever since then, we win a maiden, we win the grade 3, we win the grade 2. None of these are blowouts. The first solid win then is the Santa Anita Derby. And then we push our limit and we take the Queen's Plate. And then we push again and we take the Saratoga Derby. I think I gotta stand on that and just be happy with what we had and know that it's not worth pushing further. Okay, so I thought breeding might be done. I was a couple of days maybe early. So yeah. Plateau Brex. Oh, yeah. Yeah. Fun horse, but it's all on the line. It's all on the line. That perfect season on the line. We are laid back. That could hurt us a little bit, but low weighted, top rated, best horse, best form. Just, you know, don't know a ton about this field, but don't really think there's too much that could truly hurt us here. The one I would say maybe will be Blackburn 70. I like Pratt. I think he's a very good jockey. He is. Um, yeah, could be more of an issue. And they are a little warm. So if our calmness doesn't hurt us, and if we don't have anything weird going on, I do feel we can and probably should win. It doesn't stop me being very nervous. But we're here at Arlington Park for the Arlington Million Mile 2 race, Class 1, Grade 1, for the 3-year-olds and above upon the turf. Your favourite is the Triple Crown winning unbeaten super horse, Plateau Brex, ridden by Calvin Burrell, out of Hilltop Farms, run by Chris Orme. Raintrap Briscoe and Shanto Divin are leading us out. Back to Spare and Highlights and Basic Garlin ahead of the Triple Crown winner. On the inside, Blackburn Empty, a dangerous horse. On the outside, it is Carter's Push moving up, and also Basic Galen. Weapon Bernie, Bobasox Witch, Arizona Dane, Intaglia changes and Macul contained towards the re-sparing Highlights moving about. Coming now then down the home stretch into the final furlong. Plateau Brex is passing the grey of Raintrap Briscoe. The rest of the field kind of back in a clump. We've got 5 now looking to fight for those top 3 spots. Plateau Brex, Burrell's hand in the air. Probably 6 or 7 horses crossing the line within like a length of each other there. And even the back markers not that far behind them. Garlin up on Briscoe. And then, yeah, a clump of 7 with 2 at the rear. Big win for Plateau Brex, as expected, to be fair. Do we gain rating? 129, okay. Okay, so we win the Derby, we win the Preakness, we win the Belmont, we win the Oaks Invitational at Belmont. Now we've won the Arlington Million. And we're still not even 130 rated. Like, I don't know. I don't feel there's enough separation between us and these horses in terms of rating when we're by far better than them. No disrespect. I'm just saying what everybody knows. Yeah, the last breeding that we've got since we've added those 2 in. So Violetta is now bred, and we're gonna go to Modern Eve. I kind of want to leave Brex at the end of the season room to breed as well. By doing so, though, what are we missing out on if we just stick to a mile 2? I couldn't run the American Oaks, but that's fine. I probably couldn't run the Memorial. Or I could run the Memorial. I don't know. I think it's maybe 2 weeks back, so I think we're somewhere around here we can race up until. But that then puts us kind of all the way back at the Breeders' Cup Classic, which is not a bad place to end on Brex. And then we do have a big gap before the tennis show. Do we want to run the tennis show, or do we want, if we claim the Irish Quipco Champion Stakes, do we then want to go to Ascot and take the British Quipco Champion Stakes? Because that would amuse the hell out of me. Do we do that rather than take the Flower Bowl? 17th of October. This is kind of close. So is this, but at least this is 2 weeks. Yeah. Jockey Club Gold Cup. That means we don't run the Rodeo. And then we've got a decent time there. That might be Brex booked out with a question mark over either the Champions Stakes, which is close to the Gold Cup, or the Tennis Show, which is then a little close again to the Breeders' Cup Classic. So I think I'd be more tempted to take the Champions Stakes, just to double up on the British and the Irish. Yeah, have your say. How would you book? Does this make sense to anyone? Would you think of it the same way they're looking at that list of races? And if we could, we would take the Kentucky Derby, Preakness, Belmont. We lock ourselves up there on the Triple Crown. The Oaks Invitational, just because the Belmont Invitational was being run by somebody else. Very similar. It's not really as high prestige, but then the Arlington Million, the Travers, that we've solidified our Grand Slam, and then we could end up with the Irish and British champions and the Jockey Club Gold Cup and the Breeders' Cup Classic. If that's what we did in this season, that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 more Grade 1s. Yeah, we'd end with 10 Grade 1 wins. And the weakest one would be the Belmont Oaks Invitational. We know we would have won the Belmont Invitational, so I don't mind that. But we've kind of hit every big race of this distance after becoming Triple Crown winners. That's kind of like how I'm thinking about this, and I also hit a lot of my races that I like. The problem for me is just that little bit too close between those last few races. Like if this was earlier, then I'd be okay. If this was a little bit earlier, we could have 2 weeks between the Irish champion and the Jockey Club Gold Cup. Then we could still have 2 weeks between that and the Champion Stakes, and then have a week and a half, 2 weeks before the Tennis Show, and then still maintain that gap to the Breeders' Cup. I'd love to run them all. I just think 6 days here, when it's 14 days and 14 days either side of these two, 6 days in the middle, that might be tight. And we might just hit that sort of over racing area. So I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I don't want to overthink it, but I also just don't want to book something dumb. I know I can do that. Ooh, Grade 1 on both sides. Noidat born. Okay, weird name aside, you're a cheap yearling that's come from 2 Grade 1 winners. One might be genuine. You might take after the one that's not. They both might be genuine. We just roll really poorly on the randomness chart. They both could be bad horses that just won a Grade 1. See what I like here, actually, about this horse. Won a Grade 1, and, you know, it's a pretty good one, too. It's the Juvenile Turf Sprint. So as a 2-year-old, you hit that. You follow up by moving up in distance to take your Grade 2 that you won. And then you're in contention here. This is a bad race, probably too much distance. That's kind of what that screams of. Almost take the Woody Stevens. Yeah, you're even short-headed out. You fail the test, which I never like running the test, but I sometimes have to. The jerk-ins, you're within a length of winning that. You're second by a while, but you're second in that. Then you go up in distance again and get killed. That's just bad booking. And then you're headed out of the La Brea. Okay. So yeah, like the finishes are really interesting here. Really, really interesting. Okay. And the sire, okay, wins a maiden, wins the conditions at 7, back down to 6, grade 3, and a mile 10, and then the breeder's futurity, back but you're not miles back. Yeah, and then it kind of falls apart a little bit. In and around, but not really doing much. And then, yeah. Okay. Like Svelta and Fistful of Vindicated, like these weren't amazing horses. These weren't amazing horses. And Symphonic Gown also was a good horse, but not an amazing horse either, and ends up winning the Derby. So I'd be more worried about Grange. I would be more worried about Grange. So, yeah. That's the kind of research I would do before buying a horse. Doing it after, I like the speed, the acceleration's pretty good. Can't start. Yeah, if it had a tiny bit more potential, it would actually survive as against any of my yearlings. Um, I mean, you could fill that out as a 2-year-old and then get a jump towards like 80-ish as a 3-year-old. So you could be running 3-year-old at 80. Got a bit of cruising burst, got okay extra speed as well. Got the full finish. Confidence, enthusiasm, okay. But we're just inconsistent with no adaptability. I would say looking at this and looking at these bars again, the fact we've got a little bit here, this could be more of a jumper. It really, really could. Um, yeah. I think we're just gonna we'll list that. We'll list that with the thought that maybe that goes out into the jump sieve. Maybe that goes out into the jump sieve. Because I don't think we need it here. I think we're about to get a bunch of good maidens. But yeah, it's so close and it's so interesting. It's got that jumps extra parts to it, I think. It's just worth sending across. Can I delay any longer? Can I delay any longer? I can. I shouldn't. Saratoga, baby. That means it's time for the Travers, isn't it? End of August, Saratoga. Time for the Travers. So the stand side rail has cut up badly. Okay. But like nobody runs on that part of the track. That'll be the outside part, close to where the stands are. We're going to be running on the inner rail. I always feel like I might be misinterpreting it. So I'm always a little bit worried about that. I'm pretty sure not. Okay, Mujadili Sounds back again. Rowan Barn back again. Still hasn't won a grade 1, probably because it keeps running against us. So third in the Haskell, but Journeyman beat it. Stormin beat it in the Queen's Plate. And then Plateau beat it in the Triple Crowns. So it did really well domestically, and it won its grade 2, and it comes over to North America thinking it's going to have a fine time, and it's never finished ahead of one of our horses that's been in the race with it. But I do think it's a very, very good horse. It's just getting beaten by all of our horses. Dancerella, back again. Keeps running quite well, to be fair. Like, that beat both Journeyman and Rowan. Then they stayed at a mile 1. And then got beaten in the secretariat. Probably didn't need to go down in distance. Now they're coming back up in distance. But yeah, that's going to be interesting. That is going to be interesting. Cecile is solid, but not great. Fresher Printer always looks good and then just doesn't do anything. Chocolate Waters, Dana Panzer, and Almush Tarak. Like, again, I think these top 4 flatter to deceive. I think they're better than they are. Maybe Rome Barn is better than them, but still is in that category. Dancerella might be like the threat. I don't think much of a threat, but the threat. So yeah, we will be the favourite for the Travers. One of my favourites, like I say. I do like to run this on a Triple Crown winner. We don't always get that chance, but we will today. Mile 2 at Saratoga, Class 1, Grade 1 for 3-year-olds upon the dirt. And we're out okay and safely. As everybody starts to move into position, we've got Ron Barn, Almush Tarak and Murgily Sound out in front. Against the rails, Fresher Printer with Brex next to Chocolate Waters, the Dana Panzer. I said it wrong again. Dancerella Guest, penultimate in this field, and Cecile Annabelle at the complete rear. We at least have a gap, and we do use it to move up. That means we'll have a clean bend if we want to move. We can. 2.5 from home. Down to 2, being left back a little bit. Final 1.5 furlongs now. Onto the home stretch. Fresher Printer is there, but doesn't look like they're doing anything. The whole rest of the field almost in a line. Ron Barn, the Dana Panzer, I said it wrong again. Dancerella Guest up on the outside. Plateau Brex, hand in the air. Just Calvin Burrell loves this horse. Dancerella Guest in second. Dana Panzer, let's say it correct for once, picks up the 3rd position. And I just feel it's a good group of 3-year-olds. Don't do this to me. Do not do this to me. Not again. We didn't touch anybody. We didn't touch anybody anywhere. The gap was there. We went in between horses, but they didn't move out of the way. Do not... Ooh, I might have to stop racing Brex. I might have to stop racing Brex, because those stewards, they're looking for a way to kill my Wonder Horse. They're trying to kill my perfect season and my perfect horse. They keep trying to do this to me. Don't do this to me. I can't take it. I can't take it. This is like one of the best performing horses I've ever had. It's probably top 5 I've ever had, especially after the CK trials. Don't screw it. Do not screw it. I can't screw this up, and the stewards are not allowed to screw this either. This is special. Let it be special. Oh, I'm so on edge and so wound up. 131 rating, wins it comfortably. Get me to the main screen. Just double save, triple save. Don't care. Just breathe, everybody. We're okay. We're okay. Everybody breathe. Everybody relax. I don't like that. I don't like that. Oh, big win over Dancerella, who's a very solid horse. I don't think they enjoy the distance. Dana Panza, still just like, is good but not great horse. Fresher Princer, good, not great. Uh, Chocolat Waters, good, not great. Almost Tarak, flattered early on in his career as a 2-year-old for sure. Just never made the jump at a 3. Always think they're a threat when they're not. Romban just, again, another good horse, not a great horse. And Mujadili, like a mile to a mile 1, shouldn't be able to step up. So until I go abroad, which is the next test, I think I should feel very comfortable. Yeah, Starine, like where's the threat in this field? Like Naji's just run a Grade 2 handicap and some conditions races, so I don't believe that form. Random Gamble we know, and they're fairly good, but again, probably not a mile 2 distance. Run a Group 2 handicap and a Grade 3 at this distance, and you go down, you will be running Darish Champion and the Gold Cup. I mean, that's just probably it. That's probably the main threat in the Gold Cup. And like, what do we do? We probably just keep winning, right? That's uh I feel I should be more confident. And I have confidence in the quality of the horse. I just don't. I know I can't control all the variables. 10 wins in a row. 6 Grade 1 wins, 9 graded wins on the whole. And now probably the biggest swing of all, Candy Star. The wrong maiden, the right distance finally wins a maiden, and then just decimates at Ascot. Can we go up to 7 furlong in the futurity at Del Mar? I know. I feel this is just the biggest swing for the fences of the video. Pink triangle. Come on, come on. Run through it. Use that energy. Use that energy. Don't let it burn you. Use it to fuel. Come on. We go to the front with Zamakot and Imvre Hagab. Tequila Kivambo, Filibuster Fortune back to Glenwood Achiever, Harvey's Quintet, Walk on Free and Polly, Magic at the rear. The three of us up at the front being joined now. Filibuster and Tequila all there, but they're going to drop off. Imvre Hagab is going to go. We're going to go. Final half of furlong. We're pushing through. We're pushing out. We're pushing up. And we're just about going to get up. Oh, I didn't feel comfortable with that run at all. And when Imvre kicked on, I was getting ready to like slow down at about a mile and a half, not mile, a furlong or 1.5 furlongs from home. And I just didn't like the way that like, those two jumped up and joined the three at the front. And I kind of froze, and I was going to like slow it down to watch as soon as that happened. And then Imvre kicked on and kind of looked like they were going to blow past us. And oh, Yeah, we got up. I don't feel comfortable with that, but it's a grade one. It's a big win. It was not comfortable. It was not comfortable. But Candy Star is a grade one winning 2-year old. We're up to 80 potential. We should easily fill this bit out as a 3-year old, but we're not going to fill this out by the end of the 2-year old season. 100% certain of that. At this point, again, I kind of feel like Candy Star is done for the year. If they do jump, I will say early favorite out of all my 2-year olds, just based on the bars I can see and kind of what I expect, especially this distance adaptability. If they are a mile 2 horse, I think we easily get the Preakness and the Derby distance. We'll be so comfortable. And then the move up to the Belmont at a mile 4, I think doesn't worry us. We don't have a ton of cruising burst. We don't have 70 extra speed. And we're not going to have more than 86 potential filled out as a 3-year old. That's my main worry with this horse, just in terms of pure speed. I kind of think they're done for the year. I really do think they're done for the year. Brex can go into the breeding barn later. We're kind of in a good place. I think all that's left now is a race each from these three. We're not going to run all of Brex's race, of course. Maybe we will. Actually, I was going to say we're not, but like, why bother coming back for another video where we're just going to run 3 more races after that? And then have to kick into the next season. So we might as well just finish off. We've got a trip to Ireland. We've got a trip to Ireland. Yves Morton is not going to get to run. Fuck shit. So many injuries. We don't normally get injuries. So many injuries. I feel we could have got that one. I really feel we could have got that one. I'm annoyed. We don't need it for potential. We don't need it for rating. We don't need it to have a grade, so we've got a grade 3. It is annoying. It is really annoying. But we don't need it. Would have been nice as well to get Burrell a little run early on before this one. Oh. I think this is our biggest test since the Belmont. Just trying to figure out if we could get the distance. This is the biggest test that we've had. I don't know if I want to run this. I need to breathe. I need a drink. I need to. Yeah. I think what I need to remember here, more than anything, my goal was to win a Triple Crown. We've done that. Anything else is extra. If I'm beaten by a better horse, I'm beaten by a better horse. We don't get anything for staying unbeaten. We don't get anything for winning more grade ones. It's all extra. It's all gravy. This was what it was all about. Nobody can take that away from Brex. And I believe it's a great horse. This isn't a good horse. This is a great horse. We might come up against other great horses. We might have an unlucky day. We might get screwed by the stewards or the jockey does something stupid. We might mess up on terms of the going. We could just get hit with an injury. We cannot control all the variables. What we can do is just enjoy the remainder of this season for Brex. Win or lose. The only thing really would be to hit a 140. I'd love to hit the 140. That's super, super rare. So we're going to run and give ourselves the best choice, the best chance of that. Mimansa has come over. This is going to be the first test for them. They're going to be in the Gold Cup as well that we're going to run. And Santorini Ruin from Japan has come over. It's a domestic Grade 1 winner. And then just a bunch of Irish and American horses that I don't know and don't really look too good either. Yeah, you won the handicap. So you won the Irish champion last year. Interesting. And we'll be going for it again this year. So we'll kind of get to know Lethal Impossible and Mimansa Brandy as well, I guess. Will we see you? Yeah, we'll see you at the Irish champion as well, Santorini Ruin. So this is just race one of a double header against the three other grade ones in this race. So yeah, perhaps this will be top four in this race, perhaps in the next race. I don't want to do jockey orders. I don't want to do jockey orders. I keep feeling like I should, but I think I know this has been working. I don't want to mess it up. So yeah, the Quipco Irish champion, Mile 2 Class 1, Grade 1 here at Leopardstown in Ireland. Mimansa Brandy out to the front with Shanto Divin and Cher Messiah. Brex then chasing them down. Balladia, Miami and Baith, Clone Roche behind them. Officer Naji, Hunting Servant, Lethal Impossible, Santorini Ruin at the back. Both possibly closers with Heartside Munster there. We're against the rail on this turn. The field are coming up. And we are 2 from home. We find a little gap. And now we kick on. Now we go inside the final furlong. We've got Bath, Clone Roche. I don't know why they're up this high. Did not expect to see them. And here comes, oh my God, here comes Cher Messiah. I was sure that they were going to take that. Did we get that on the line? if we got to do this again, can we beat 3 stewards' inquiries? Yes, we can. What is going on? What is going on? You cannot make this up. I'm dumbfounded. Oh my God. Shimasa had a kick. They came up fast on the outside. I really thought they were coming up to win it right at the end, and who the hell are you? Why are you suddenly here? Like, Mimansa just wasn't much of a threat. Lethal Impossible, Santorini Ruin. the horses we thought would be in this just weren't really a threat. They stayed at the back the entire way. Romancer started off quite well and then dropped off a bit towards the end. And we looked dead and buried. Somehow we got up. And then the stewards. Man, those stewards just. Oh. Oh my God. Yeah, I just fear every time I'm racing them. So we got stewards in the Belmont Oaks, I believe. We got stewards in the Travers, and now we got stewards in the Irish Champion. The Million was clean. The Triple Crown, I think, was clean. I can't remember any issues there. This was clean. And then stewards, clean, stewards. Just, oh my, duh. It's so painful for me to watch and experience. I hope you're enjoying. Like, comment, subscribe, hit it for the algorithm. You know the deal, guys. Check out the memberships. Pray for Brex. And don't forget to bribe your stewards. God damn. Oh, I mean, I'm only joking, but like, it feels like either someone's paid them off to investigate us, or that we've paid them off to like always get the right outcome. But 3 in 4 for Brett. Like, if this was real life, this Triple Crown winner, does really well. Doesn't run the Belmont Invitational, but runs the Oaks instead. There'll be some discussion over that. And then the fact that 3 of the next 4 races it runs, it wins them all, but 3 of those 4, the stewards were investigating. So they're going to be conspiracy theories, or that we've kind of like cheated our way to a win, and so much doubt about the horse. I can't even just imagine the controversy of it all. Stardrome, okay. Yeah, we're a little wound up again. That's fine. I think it was Candy who ran warm and did okay. Trip to Ireland, 7 furlong. Goss Vincent O'Brien National at Curra. I want to say we're at Curra. I think we are. Class 1, Grade 1 for 2-year-olds upon the turf. The Irish green grass. Well, the favourite with the best horse that I know. I only know one horse, but this the best horse I know. Bunch of Irish horses. Don't really, like I say, know too much. Running right-handed. We're going to go straight out to the front. Pilgrim Missile just in behind with Zafran Astoria. 50 not out closely. Friendly Affliction, Swords Villain, and Milk Electric at the rear. Up to 3, down to 2.5 now, and we've got ourselves Zafran and Friendly are there. We're just going to kick on 1.5 from home. We're going to start pushing out. Did we go too early? Is there going to be a challenge from deep? Friendly Affliction up on the outside of Zafran Astoria. Looks to climb second place. Swords Villain moving quite well. At the back there on the outside. Almost, or maybe just gets up into third. That's going to be a tight one on the line. But, yeah, we just powered home. Good run. Calvin enjoys himself once again. And Stardrome takes the Goffs, Vincent O'Brien. I didn't expect it to be that easy. I didn't expect to go start to finish. I like the horse. And yeah, we're kind of stuck on that 75. It does at least give us a chance to rise that like 10% to just over 85 as a 3-year-old. With 75 extra speed, we could run quite well. Doesn't quite have the distance adaptability, but does have some. Again, if we jump as a 3-year-old, definite Triple Crown contending idea. What it really does is gives us another 2-year-old with a grade 1. I think if we send them out to grass and now we look at our field, of these 2-year-olds, we got a grade 3 who got injured, probably would have won a grade 2. 2 grade 2s, both, all 3 of those are actually from Eve. And then these 2 are both from Ingleby Star. So Ingleby Star has won the 2 grade 1s. Not planned, not even thought about, not noticed until right now, but the 2 stars are grade 1 winners. And Eve's Era, the better of the 2 sires for us. I'm going to count this as a grade 2. I really think they would have won. So I'm going to say 3 grade 2s. That to me is super interesting. Super interesting. Okay. Gonna save. Gonna check. A few more days. Yeah, you're fine. We'll go to the start of October. Oh my god, I hate when that happens. I hate the fact that that happens. It shouldn't happen anymore because everything is booked. We've got... Oh, we've got them all booked out. So the Jockey Club World Cup. And then do we go early and give ourselves a month by going to Ascot? Or do we go a little later, give ourselves a rest here, but then run these 2 a little closer together? Kind of feel like I want to go to Ascot more. Kind of feel like I want to go to Ascot more. Do I run them both? I think that might be silly. I could do it. Could 100% do it. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy.